Welcome to Fire Your Boss Friday Live. Happy Friday, y'all. On Fridays, we are going to talk about how you can fire your boss for good, right? So that you can live the life that you deserve to live through your business. And yes, it is possible. Yes, it's definitely possible for you to live the life that you deserve to live through your business. And so that's why on Fridays, I'm going to give you some tips, some tricks that you can use in reality so that you can achieve this for yourself. And if you are new to me, I am Chastity Grady. At my company, Grady Tax Plus, it is my number one goal to make sure that we are keeping the IRS out of your pockets so that you can live a better life. Why? Because you deserve it. And my background is as a licensed clinical social worker. I had been in that field for 11 years, not by choice, as far as choosing it as my career that I went down, but that's where God had led me. In order for me to be an effective tax professional for what I do for my clients, making me the go-to expert for social workers and therapists who are in business. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. As we're Before we get started, y'all, I want to take the opportunity to let y'all share this live out. So go ahead and share this live out to your favorite communities. Share this live out with some groups that you love and feel like they will be a benefit to the information that we're going to give on today. Okay. So I'm just going to take the opportunity to do that. So just give me like a few moments. Okay. And if you are tuning in live or if you're watching on a replay, let me know what is your goals. I want to know your goals in regards to your business. I know this is a public forum, but if whatever you want to share, if it's really your goal to fire your boss one day, I want you to share that. I want you to claim that for yourself in 2026. I don't want you to be ashamed of it. Listen, all 2025, you were ashamed of whatever was going on with your business, but in 2026, we're not doing that. We're taking the chains off. That's why I'm bringing back the lives so that we can help you achieve the goals that you need to achieve. Okay, so I shared enough. So let me go ahead and get started. So last year when we were doing the Fire Your Boss Friday lives, there were some steps that I had gave y'all. Okay, and there is a Facebook community for Fire Your Boss. I'm gonna open that back up. I'll be opening it back up soon. Okay, so I'm gonna tag that in the group too, in the chat too. So I'm gonna open it back up soon. So there were some steps that I had y'all go through last year, as it relates to firing your boss, as it relates to the steps that you should take, not only to fire your boss, but to fire your boss for good. And when I say for good, that means that you are not looking back. You are able to step into full-time entrepreneurship without any chains on you, without feeling concerned or anxious or fearful of tomorrow or the next month or the next year, right? So I was giving y'all some steps last year, right? And then we took a pause. But what I'm going to do is for today's live, because I know many of you are new to me and many of you need a refresher, right? You were following the steps, you were trying to follow the steps, and you're like, look, Chastity, I really do in 2026, I really do want to fire my boss this year, right? And not only I want to fire my boss, but I want to do it for good. I want to do it free and clear, not worrying about tomorrow, not worrying about if I can pay my bills for my business. And I see other people doing it. I see it happening for other people. And I want it to happen for me. I just need to know what to do, right? So that's what, listen, that's what we're talking about on today. So on today, I'll give y'all a disclaimer. I'm gonna give y'all a disclaimer. On today, I am going to be very blunt with y'all. I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything with y'all. I'm gonna say whatever I whatever is in me to say from my spirit. I'm going to say it to y'all. Why? It's because y'all played long enough. Yep. See, I already started. Y'all played long enough in business. So we're not playing anymore. We're not playing. Last year you said what you was going to do. You said you wanted to do that and all the things. And we in 2026 and we don't have no receipts to show for it. We don't have any receipts to show for it. So that's why I gotta be blunt with you. Okay? I gotta be blunt with you. I gotta tell you the truth. I have to tell you where where you stand with this so that it will move you. Okay? So that it will move you to make decisions if this is really what you want for yourself. Now, if this is not what you really want for yourself, If you don't really want to be in full-time entrepreneur, if you don't want to be a full-time entrepreneur for good, right? Then this live is not for you. This live, it's not for you. You can listen to me, and thank you for the views, but I'm telling you right now, this live is not for you. This live is intended for the business owner who truly believes that you have what it takes to be a successful business owner for the long term, not for something temporarily, not for something for just 6 months or a year from now. No, like this is going to be your bread and butter. This is going to be the thing that you're relying on, and you're able to comfortably and safely and securely rely on it for good. This live is for you. Okay, so if this live is for you, just tell me in the comments. Say this live is for me. Just tell me in the comments. Say this live is for me. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into it. So some of the things that I brought up last year, I got to revisit. And the reason why I had to revisit is because these are essential tools. This is essential information that you need in order to really fire your boss. Okay. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because I've seen it with my own eyes, and I've seen it in my own life. That's a gospel song, by the way. I've seen it with my own eyes, well, seen it for other people, and I've seen it in my own life. So it must work, and it does work. And I'm telling it to you. You can't negate the fact that when you went into business, there was reasons behind why you went into business, right? You had dreams, you had visions, you had purpose, you had all types of things that you were thinking about when you went into business. And all the things that you thought about, whether that was time freedom, financial freedom, just whatever freedoms that you thought of, family freedom, whatever that freedom is, I need you to bring it to the forefront. I need you to bring up the things that you thought about. Oh my gosh, if I was working full time for myself, I would be able to do this. I would be able to go here. I'll be able to do that. I want you to start bringing those things up to your mind right now. Okay? And if you can't do it right now, take some time on your own to do this. And the reason why you need to do this is because you do need to know your why. I know it sounds cliche. I know it does. But let me tell you, you're going to have moments, and maybe you've had them. You're going to have moments where you're going to be like, why am I even doing this in the first place? Right? And you're going to forget about all the things that encouraged you, that motivated you to start your business, to be a full-time business owner. You're going to forget those things during hard times, because you're not going to be worried about that. Because when you're in hard times, sometimes you're thinking about giving up. You're thinking about all the negative things. You're not thinking about, oh, well, I went into this because XYZ. I went into this because of whatever reasons. And so that's why I need you to do that. I need you to bring that to the forefront. But not only do I need you to bring that to the forefront, I need you to actually write it down. I know. We talked about last year how you needed to have a journal. Okay, if you were a part of last year's Fire Your Boss series, I need you to dust off that journal. I need you to get the journal back out. I need you to get it back out. And I need you to look at your why if you did not. If you did, write it down, but if you did not, I want you to go ahead and write it down. What is your why? Why do you want to be a full-time entrepreneur? What will be accomplished by you being a full-time entrepreneur? How would your life change? How would your family lives change? How would the society change? How would it change? How would your clients, your consumers, how would they be impacted? All because you're a full-time business owner. Some things I'll tell you about for me. One of the things that I noticed as I am full-time in business, that the level of impact that I want to make has increased, right? The level of impact that I want to make has increased. And when I was working full time, I felt like I had chains on me. I feel like I was restricted between like a schedule, because you have to think about it. People say, work your 8 to 5 and then work your business from 5 to 9. But let's be honest. Like I said, I'm gonna be blunt with y'all today. I'm gonna be very straightforward. Let's be honest. That get real old real fast. working 8 to 5 and then 5 to 9 and then on the weekends for your business. That gets old real fast. You get tired real fast, right? And I found myself getting to a point to where if I didn't if I didn't give my boss the pink slip, then my business would have actually started to suffer because my level of impact was beginning to expand and I needed to be more present in my business. And some of the things that I had thought about was even though I had set myself up for this moment, for that moment to actually chunk up the deuces, like I like to say, there was still some fear behind it. There was still some what ifs and all the things. And I'm not going to tell you that, those what ifs and the fears like that, it doesn't happen. It happens, right? But I knew on paper that I was good, but it was just the fact that I was coming, for me, it was me giving away my career as a social worker and closing that chapter of my life that I never even wanted open in the first place, but God saw fit for me, and closing that chapter up, right? And so once I came to terms with it, once I got in alignment with what God wanted for me, He showed up. And the reason why I'm talking about God, the reason why I'm talking about this, because I would be lying to you if I told you that I did not believe that entrepreneurship is spiritual. Entrepreneurship is spiritual, okay? It's when you started your business, when the business idea came up, it came up because somebody else in the world needed what you have. So if you're a social worker or a therapist, if you do specific type of therapies, if you are a coach or consultant, whatever you do, if even if you sell products, if you're someone who sells products, the idea came to mind because somebody else in the world was going to need what you have, and it only needed to come from you. It only needed to come from you. That's why it can be multiple types of therapy businesses. It can be multiple types of tax businesses. It can be multiple types of clothing businesses, all the things. But guess what? Their assignment is only to certain people who are connected to them, who are connected to their voice, I like to say, which I'll get into that scripture later, whose breakthrough is only going to come from you. And the people who are supposed to receive that breakthrough from you, they won't get it if you do not show up, or they wouldn't have gotten it had you not started your business. So this is why being in business cannot be taken lightly. This is why you can no longer play in business. This is why you have to call it for what it is, that it is a business. You're not just a contractor. You're not just a side hustler. You are a business owner. And this is why you have to treat yourself as such, because the people on the other side who's going to receive your services, who's going to receive your products, they deserve to receive it from people who are taking what they have seriously. I told y'all I was gonna be real blunt with y'all today. I'm gonna be serious with y'all. Cause we played in 2025. We played in 2024. At some point, we gotta put up the cards. We gotta put up the dominoes. We gotta put up the Uno cards. We gotta put them up at some point and actually be in this for real, for real. And so this is why I'm doing this live today, because I believe that there's some of you, you truly want to be in full-time business. You truly want to chunk up the deuces to your employer. And I want to see it. I want you to see what it looks like in order to do it for good and not just make a hasty decision and then you on Indeed 3 months later looking for a job, right? I want you to really do it and do it for good and be financially successful, because that's your portion and you deserve it. Okay? So we talked about knowing your why. Now the next thing I'm going to talk about, we're going to talk about the numbers, because at the end of the day, the numbers have to make sense. If you're going to fire your boss for good, the numbers have to make sense. Okay? And we have to be patient with our numbers. Okay, because sometimes what we see in the bank account is not reflective of what we know our potential, what our potential is, and that's okay. We got to be patient. And so here we go. We're gonna talk about the numbers. I talked to y'all about the B word. I talked to y'all about the B word, the budget, knowing your personal budget. And I could talk about personal budget until I'm blue in the face, green in the face, yellow, red, white, and blue in the face until you actually get it. I want you to get it so far deep in your soul that you teaching other people about their personal budget and you don't even know nothing about numbers. That's how connected I want you to be with your personal budget. Why? Why do I want you to be so in tune and so in alignment and agreement with your personal budget? Because first of all, we like to run away for budget. First of all, we think budget is not for us for some reason. We think that we've been exempt from the word budget, and we are not. We are not exempt from it. In fact, I don't know why people are not talking about it enough, right? When you want to be in business for yourself, your personal budget matters because at the end of the day, you didn't go into business just for the business to be making money and that's it. You went into business so the business can ultimately pay you some money. Let's be real. Let's be honest with ourselves. We ultimately went into business so that the business can pay us some money. But how much do the business needs to pay us, right? Sometimes we come up with these random numbers that fall out the sky that have no structure to it. It has no grounding to it. We have to be very strategic with it. We have to be very strategic with the numbers. Okay, so it starts with our personal budget, and the reason why it starts there, because like I said, you went in business to pay you, but how much does the business needs to pay you? What are you basing it on? So when you know how much it costs for you to live, how much do it cost me to live? Okay, for some reason I don't know why I sound like the record that is almost broken, but listen, we gonna aliven it today. We're gonna alive, or that's not the word I want to use, but we want to make the record alive today. When you look at how much it costs for me to live, how much do it really cost for me to live in a month? How much is my rent? How much is my mortgage, my gas, my car note, my insurance, my groceries? If I go get my nails done, if I want to travel, if I every month I'm going to the movies, whatever. I need to know. I need you to know all of the things. Don't leave nothing out. If if you know this number, that number is going to help you be able to know, well, how much can my business pay me? Because without knowing your personal budget, you just paying yourself for no reason. You just transferring money. You just paying yourself for no reason. There's no strategy to it. So actually I had not done it yet. Let me do it for y'all. In the chat, in the comments, I'm gonna give y'all a free personal budget tracker. And this tracker is hold on, y'all. This personal budget tracker is going to help you calculate. You don't have to add up anything. The math is going to math for itself. You're going to be able to put in every bucket there is for personal. It even has savings. It has ties on there. It has everything. Okay, credit cards, loans, all of the things. And I want you to fill it out in detail. Fill it out in detail and see what is the number. Don't be afraid of the number. And see what that number is. How much do you need to make in a month? Or how much do you need to have in a month to cover everything? Okay? And then what I want you to do, when you know that number, because that number that you need in a month, that's not the same number. It's not equal to the same number that you need to make in your business in a month. Those are two different numbers. Those are two different numbers. Okay. And so you look at, okay, how much my business needs to pay me in a month, or how much I need to survive personally. And I actually, there's a spot at the top for you to put, well, how much is your job paying you? Okay. And when you put that number at the top, It's going to calculate your, if you're in the red or if you're in the green. If you're in the red, that means that your full-time job cannot fully sustain you. It cannot fully support you. And so that's an eye opener for you. If you're someone who feel like you're living from paycheck to paycheck, if you look at the personal budget, it will be able to have some revelation for you. But then if you're in a green, that means you have some overage after you've paid all your bills, you got your personal care, you're able to go out to eat, all of the things based off your personal budget, and you have some overage. That means that your full-time job is able to cover all of your bills. Okay? And I'm going to talk to you from two different perspectives. So, if you are someone where your full-time job is able to cover all of your bills, okay, and you are in business, then guess what? This is your instructions for me. This is what I want you to do. This is how you're going to be able to fire your boss for good. Any money that you make in the business, okay, so you bring in the revenue, you spend some money, and you have net profit left over. That net profit, after you account for taxes, remember those five buckets I talked to y'all about on, I think it was Wednesday for the Wellness Wednesday live. When you take out for taxes, I want you to not take anything out for yourself. We're going to just delete that one part of the bucket. So let me tell y'all the buckets. So the buckets are taxes, paying yourself, business savings, investing in retirement. Okay. You can put money in the bucket for retirement. You can put money, definitely you're going to have money for taxes, right? And then if you are going to look into investing, but investing in ways that are going to be strategic, investing in ways that's actually going to lead to you making more money, right? Not just investing and wasting money. But I don't want you to do anything with the paying yourself bucket. I know you heard people say, "Oh, you got to pay yourself first and all the things." Not if you want to fire your boss for good, you don't. Your full-time job, if you are in this first category where your full-time job, it is covering everything, okay? Then anything that the business makes, you store it. You put it in the business savings. You store it, you store it, you store it. Do not touch it. Do not press go. Do not collect $200. Okay? Store it, store it, store it. And then what happens is month after month, as you are storing and storing and storing and storing, let's say after 6 months, I don't know what your net profit is. Let's say your net profit is $5,000 for easy math. So if after 6 months you're storing $5,000, that's $30,000 that you have. Just store. It's free and clear because we'll account for the tax part too. It's $30,000, and in a year that's $60,000 that you have stored up and have not touched. This is what's going to set you apart from people who just decide tomorrow I'm just gonna quit my job and I'm gonna let the Lord use me. And ain't nothing wrong with that. I'll be honest with y'all. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Letting the Lord use you. But at the same time, God gives us wisdom. He gives us wisdom, and this is the wisdom that I'm telling you that was revealed to me. You need to store. Okay, no spending, you store. Like I said, if the full-time job, if it's covering all the personal bills, there's no reason for your business to then pay you something just for you to live lavish and have extra money for nothing. We're on a mission. The mission is that you want to fire your boss for good. So if that's your mission, if that's your goal, you're storing everything up. You're storing and saving. That way, when you do pull, I don't want to say word trigger, but I already said it. When you do pull the trigger, when you do give your pink slip to your boss, you can do so in confidence because you stored up. Let's say you have a 2-year goal. If you have a 2-year goal to fire your boss in 2 years, and if you follow this method, that will be $120,000 stored. Stored. And then you can be able to chunk up the deuces. You can go do your little twerk dance. However you want to give out that pink slip to the boss. You can give that to them in confidence, knowing that, oh my gosh, I can leave this job and my business is already flourishing and thriving. But guess what? If I have some low months, if I have some slow months, or if I want to take off a couple months, I am able to do so. I am able to do so with no issues, with no problems. And that's what's going to set you apart from people who get into full-time entrepreneurship and they're just going from deposit to deposit. That is what's going to set you apart. Hey, Latoya, that is what's going to set you apart. You noticed that there are some business owners who are full-time in business and they're struggling financially, right? And sometimes it's not because of the person. Sometimes it's certain life circumstances. It just depends on what it is. But this is why I'm telling y'all in 2025, 2024, all the years before, or if you're just starting out in business and you're still working, you cannot play in business. From the very beginning, you have to treat your business like it really is a business. Because at some point, at any given moment, you don't know what could happen tomorrow. And if had you been following methods, you would have something stored up for you. You know, I have been going through. I'm y'all okay. So for those of you who've been following the Bible in our business lives, when I used to do that, and we were going through the book of Genesis, and let me tell y'all, I am still reading the book of Genesis almost 2 years later. Listen, I've been reading Genesis for almost 2 years now. I'm still in Genesis, and I'm gonna see it through. I'm gonna see it through. I just haven't talked to y'all on lives about it, but listen, I'm still reading Genesis, and so in Genesis, okay, this is gonna help you. In Genesis, Joseph. This is around chapter 30-ish, 38 to 41. Okay, it's like 3 chapters. So Joseph, the son of Jacob, he uh I'm gonna shorten it up for y'all. So basically, Joseph, his gift was he was able to interpret dreams. Okay, and Pharaoh, he needed somebody to give him some revelation about things, and they were like, "Hey, Joseph, he the one who can do it." So Joseph, when he told Pharaoh that based off the dream that Pharaoh had, that there was going to be 7 years of abundance and 7 years of famine, and then Joseph gave him some instructions on what to do. Okay, so what happened is, so during the 7 years of abundance, they were storing up. And that's what people fail to do. In business can be going real good and booming and bam. That's your moment to store up. That's when you're supposed to store up, you're supposed to save, you're not supposed to do lavish spending. And that's what you see people when things are really good, it's abundant, it's free flowing, and then they got, new car, they got new this, new that, and flaunting around on social media, but they're not storing. And then what happens is when the season dry up, when famine comes, you don't have anything to sustain you during a dry season because you didn't store up. In business, this is the lesson you need to take. In business, when you have your good seasons, that's your seasons that you have to store the money. You're not supposed to be spending like, oh, okay, now I got this money. I'm gonna go do that. I'm gonna go do that. I'm gonna go take that trip. I'm gonna go buy my kids that. No, that's your time to store up because there may be a time when you're gonna have less clients, or maybe people don't uh, purchase your products or whatever it is. All businesses have this where it's up and down. Even the major businesses, major companies, they deal with this. And the way you get through it is from the storage. Many people try to get through it with business credit and business loans, but guess what? Something still has to pay that back, and then you find yourself being in the cycle of having credit card debt and loans because you still got to pay that back when you could have just had that storage so that you don't be in famine and in debt, right? Don't that sound don't that sound so simple, right? It sounds so simple, right? So in the good moments in business, you want to store up. And so if you are someone where your business, where your full-time job can support you fully, you don't necessarily need money from the business, then store up. Store. And the good thing about that story was that when the famine did came, they were actually thriving. They were actually making money during the famine because the other people who are affected by the famine, they had to come to them in order to buy grains and buy goods and stuff like that to be able to live. The people were coming to them. So not only were they being faithful and being good stewards of storing their money during the abundance season, they still was profiting in the famine. So this is why you can, if you've ever noticed business owners being confident, where it can be a recession. Like people were talking about, oh, a recession coming, oh, the shutdown, all of that stuff. There were some people who was like, I don't care nothing about all of that. I don't care that y'all talking about a famine is coming, cause I don't store it up. And if I'm a good steward of my money, over my financial resources, then I'm a still profit even when there's a famine. That was a whole different topic, but I just feel like I needed to go that way. But anywho, in regards to the other way, the other situation, so the other option was that if you are working full time and after you do your personal budget and the calculation shows you, and the link is in the comments for the personal budget, and then the calculation shows you that, oh, my full time job actually can't really support me fully. I mean, it could, but then I had to cut out, getting my hair done, my nails done, or, going out to eat or going shopping or traveling. I had to cut out some things, right? And so if this is you on this side of things, then let's talk about what we need you to do. Let's talk about what we need you to do. Okay, going back to the personal budget. So let's say you're in the negative, I don't know, $500. So let's say after everything, your job, you're short $500. You're needing that $500 for, to pay bills or whatever else you need. You need that $500. Well, guess what? If you are, if you are in business, which you should be if you're watching this, then you would only pay yourself that $500. You wouldn't pay yourself 1,000. You wouldn't pay yourself 2,000. No, you will only pay yourself that $500 because that's all you need. Okay, we're on a mission. You gotta follow this. If you only need that $500, then you only pay yourself the $500. And what you're supposed to do with the rest, you're gonna store the rest. You gotta store. Okay, this is what I'm seeing. I'm seeing people go into full-time entrepreneurship without any storage. I'm seeing people go into different types of tax strategies like S corps without any storage, and you're gonna find yourself. Okay, I'm gonna say it this way because I told you I'm being blunt with y'all. I'm being straightforward. I'm not sugarcoating with y'all. In business, you can't make a decision based off what you hope and think was gonna happen. Meaning like, oh, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna buy this because I'm gonna hope that next month I'm gonna have 10 more clients. What happens if those 10 more clients don't come? And then what happens if you buy something again because you thought you was gonna get the 10 more clients the next month, and then you keep buying and buying and you keep on spending and spending, and the clients never came or came, and you find yourself being a hole in a hole. In business, the numbers gotta make sense on paper. For example, I had a client, we had a conversation last week, and she was talking about how she wants to get this new office space because it's bigger. It's going to be, make her have her creative juices flowing and all the things. And I was looking on paper. I was like, oh, okay, girl. In my head, I was like, okay, girl. And I was looking on the numbers on the papers, and I was like, the numbers not mathing for that to happen. And then you know what? I feel like our spirits was aligned because I didn't even have to tell her. She came back to me. She was like, Chastity, I was thinking, is this a good decision for me to get this bigger office? And I was like, and I said no. I just flat. I was like, no, the number's not numbering. I ain't say the number's not numbering, but I ain't say the math. I want to say the math wasn't math either. But I told her in so many words, no, it's not a good financial decision at this time. Right? Because we get, y'all, in entrepreneurship, we get real excited about stuff. We be wanting to buy stuff. We be wanting to do all kinds of stuff in our business. And I love that. One day we will be. But the numbers got to make sense on paper. So if the numbers don't make sense on paper, then don't do it. That's how businesses go under. Because they thought they could just do something, and then the clients were going to come, then the consumers were going to come because they did this thing, and then when they don't come, you're left with this bill. You want to expand as your business grows, but the good thing about this is that that's why you have structure I don't know if you remember me talking about this. You have to have order, regularity, and consistency from the very beginning. That's why I say you got to treat your business like a business. You can't just be side hustling this thing. When you have the structure in place, it's your business is able to grow without having any hiccups, without having any. Let me give y'all this example. I have time to talk to y'all today. That's why I'm talking a little slow. I got this example for y'all. So in December, there was this company that I was like, oh, I want to get my husband that for Christmas. I want to get him that because I seen their ads, like multiple ads all the time, and the reviews, what I was seeing, it seemed like it was a really good product, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna get that for my husband so he can have this and that and that. So I had got it. In these days, you can order stuff. You're supposed to be able to order stuff, and it's gonna come within a week. Okay. So I had ordered this product. I even paid for rush shipping and all the things. And then the dates had came and I had never got an update. I had never got no package label, nothing. And I was like, wait a minute, what's going on? I purchased this well before Christmas so it can be here for Christmas, but I don't have it. And I started seeing and I started going to their page and looking at people's comments, and they were like, I ordered this back on December 1st. I ordered this back on November 15th. It's December 30th. I still don't have it. And I was like, hold on, wait a minute. What is going on here? And then the owners of the company, they did a message or made a video, and they were like, hey y'all, business, we love y'all and appreciate y'all, but the ads went crazy, and business was booming, and we got behind, and we're gonna get your orders out, we're gonna get it. We couldn't keep up with what the demand was. We wasn't prepared for that. We wasn't prepared. Oh, we about to go somewhere with this. We wasn't prepared for the come up. We wasn't prepared for the blow up. But here's the thing. That's why you got to have structure in place in your business. That's why you got to have systems in place in your business. That's why when you operate a website, you got to know that the website there's in the back end, because I run a website. You can put a certain number of orders. Like, for example, when you purchase your tax services from me on my website, it's cut off at a certain number. So it doesn't get backed up, so to speak. So it doesn't overfill my capacities, right? So if something is there, you're able to purchase because it's in stock, right? That's where that in stock comes in. And you see things where you want to purchase something like your favorite product, and you see that it's not in stock. Part of that, sometimes it's not that the product itself is not in stock. Sometimes it's because the company, they do not have the capacity to fill the orders. They do not have the capacity to fill the orders. So that's what happens. And so that's why in business, like I said, you can't be playing around. You can't be shooting darts at stuff and then hope one day it's going to hit the target. And then when it hit the target, you got to be prepared to show up and show out. In this company, they were not prepared. Eventually, I got the product almost a month later. And then guess what? My husband said he couldn't even use it because of the ingredients. So not that it was a waste, but whatever. But you get what I'm saying with this. The reason why I'm bringing this up, because like I said, if you want to fire your boss for good, you got to show up as if tomorrow your come up is coming. Tomorrow your abundance is coming. And are you prepared to handle it? Are you prepared to manage it? Do you have the proper systems in place? Right? That's why I say you can't be playing in business. If you are not full-time in business, this is your perfect opportunity to get all of the systems and everything in place so that when you put in that pink slip to your employer, you can be in full-time entrepreneurship, and it's a smooth process versus you getting into full-time entrepreneurship, trying to make things happen, trying to hire this person. Now you're trying to do that. Oh, now you're trying to get your website together. Now you're trying to get the SOPs. No. You do all of that now. You do all of it now. This is what sets you apart from being a successful business to being a business that's just going to be living from deposit to deposit. This is what sets you apart. I hope that y'all picking up what I'm putting down. I hope that y'all are getting what you need from this, and that it inspires you rather, and motivates you to do what's right for your business. to do what's right. If you need to legalize it, legalize it. But do what's right. You know what frustrates me the most is when, like, I don't got to the point. I'm gonna be real honest with y'all. This is how. What word do I want to use? Uh, no, I want to use that word. Okay, this is just how serious I've gotten about business. I've gotten to a point to where if the other person, if I'm buying something from somebody, if the other person, if they not in full-time business, or if you're not giving me the perception that you got your stuff together, then I'm not gonna buy from you. I'm not gonna buy from you because it's gonna give me anxiety, wondering if you're gonna check your email to see if you got an order, or just no, no. I want to work with people who really operate a business like they're supposed to be operating their business, right? I want to work with people who are real serious about delivering what they said that they can do. And I don't know about you, if you've ever gotten frustrated from, like I had people who was telling, like, when I had my informational session the other night, people were saying the tax person they were working with, they said they couldn't do their taxes anymore because now they working full time, at some, at a college or whatever job. Like, who does that? Like, when you're working with people, you thinking you're working with people for the long haul. That they have you, right? That they're in their business for real, for real. Not that this is on a side and at any given moment, but tomorrow if the sky is purple, they done gave up or they done closed it because now their full time job is demanding more of them. They can't help you. You see where I'm going with this? This is why I say you can't play in business. You can't be playing around with people. That don't even make sense. Oh, my tax professional said they can't work with me because they working more at their full-time job. Like, what? That's why you owe it to yourself to be the best business owner that you can be for your clients. You owe it to yourself to show up and show out for your clients, for them to feel safe and secure, to know that, oh, I can trust this person with my financial resources. I can trust them to deliver what they said they're going to deliver to me. I can trust them that they're not gonna one day just be like, this not for me. Let me go back to the job and forget all of this. You owe it to your clients. You owe it. It's bigger than you. It's not just about you. I told you in the beginning of this live that when you had the idea to create your business, it's because somebody on the other side needed the breakthrough, and the breakthrough was going to come from you. And so, as a result of that, it only makes sense to do what's right for your business. Have the order, have the regularity, have the consistency in place. Have some business hours. Y'all know how long it took me to develop. So, one of the hurdles that I was facing, and this might seem very minimum to you, but it was big for me because I was like, I gotta have order, I have to have structure, I have to have regularity in this business. I'm not just waking up one day and being like, oh, okay, let me work on my business today. No, I need to know from what hours to what hours am I working, and when I'm not working, and when I'm not available, or when I'm available. I need to know that because I'm not just waking up and being like, okay, yeah, I'll work a couple hours on the business today. No, no, no. So it took me a couple months. It took me like 3 or 4 months to really solidify what my business hours were. Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 Central Standard Time. I don't work on the weekends. I don't work on Saturday and Sunday. And if I do, it may be because I took out some hours during the week. Okay, like today, I'll be honest with y'all, because of the weather and stuff, I was like, I'm not starting work till 11. But that's me not starting work. I have structure and systems in place where it's not just me. My assistant, she been working since 8 p.m. Eastern time, right? The doors have been open. That's what structure come in. That's what systems come in, right? So even though I didn't start my day till 11 a.m. today, She has already been working. She has already been emailing people, following up with people, uh, checking in with people in the portal. She's already been doing that, right? And that's, and again, that comes with being in business, having an order, having a structure, having that regularity. People can depend on, right? People can depend on. That's what running a real business looks like, and that's what you deserve to do, and that's what your clients deserve to have from you. So when you talk about, you want to fire your boss, you want to be full time in business, this is your perfect opportunity right now. So start treating your business like the business. I don't care if in the bank account it don't reflect what you want it to be. I don't care. So what? You still show up as if the business has $1 million sitting there. You still show up as if all the systems are there. You still work the business. You still do all the things, regardless to what the money looks like in the account. And that's not a prerequisite either. Let me tell you that. Because sometimes people think, oh, I'll hire, a tax professional, I'll hire a bookkeeper, or I'll get this for my business, or I'll get a coach, or I'll get XYZ for my business once I make a certain amount. Once I make, a certain amount. That's not how you go about it. Because guess what? When you start making that amount, then you find yourself backpedaling. Then you find yourself trying to hurry up and rush and get all the things together when you should have already had it together. And you just flow. You just be in a season of floating. Y'all remember with Noah, the story of Noah's Ark? He was able to just float right through the flood that was going on while everybody else was sinking. He was able to float because he had put a system in place. He put order in place when he built that ark. And he was able to float right through all the chaos. And that's how you should be in business. You should be able to float when it can be chaos going, and you're going to float. You're not going to sink or anything. I don't know. I can keep talking about this forever. I really can. But the key takeaways, and again, this live is only for people who truly desire to live the life that they deserve to live through their business full time. And if you're somebody who's like, oh, it sounds really good, but I don't think it's really for me, then this live is not for you. This live is for people. You're like, you know what? I know I can be a full-time business owner. I know I can. I know I have what it takes. I just want to make sure I'm okay when I get him that pink slip. And I just gave you a few steps on how to make sure you be okay for good. I hope something I said today, it helps you and blesses you. Let me give you my benediction. Okay, I got to give y'all my benediction. Okay. In the book of John, which I talked to y'all about, when I said people are connected to you because they hear your voice, or that's what I said earlier. That comes from the book of John, chapter 10. So in John chapter 10, the Jews, they was questioning Jesus. They was like, listen, how long you gonna keep our soul in suspense? If you the Christ, just tell us. And Jesus said, I told you, but you did not believe me. The works that I do, they testify concerning who I am, but you do not believe me because you are not my sheep. My sheep, they hear my voice, they know my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. And nobody should snatch them out of my hands. Y'all hear that? Have y'all heard, or have you ever felt like, oh, well, that could have been my client, or that would have been my client? Listen, it wouldn't have been your client, because can't nobody snatch your client out your hands. Why? Because the scripture says my Father gave them to me, and can't nobody snatch them out of my Father's hand. So if somebody's supposed to be your client, they're gonna be your client. Okay, take that. That was another bar. That if they're gonna be your client, they're gonna be your client. Cause can't nobody snatch who's for you from you, if you believe in the word. So why did I give y'all this word? I gave y'all this word because if you are connected to somebody, or you hear somebody, and you hear their voice, you're listening to somebody, following somebody, you hear their voice, then connect with them. If you hear my voice, if my voice is the When I say voice, there's a certain sound that somebody has, right? To where it can be like, for example, y'all see all the tax professionals everywhere. Y'all see them everywhere. You see them everywhere. But all of that can be noise to you because you don't hear their voice. All of that could be noise to you because you don't hear their voice, right? It's a certain sound that somebody has where it's like, I don't care what nobody else talking about, I'm going to her. It's similar to when it comes to like certain food places, you're like, I don't care about what McDonald's talking about. I don't care what Burger King talking about. I don't care what Jack in the Box. I'm going to Hat Creek, right? That's what I'm talking about. And so I want you to take that with you. And that's why when I was talking about people have to hear your voice, that's why you got to show up. The people who are connected to you who are supposed to be connected to you, they got to hear your voice because there's a certain sound that they need to hear. So if you're not going live, then go live. If you're not speaking, go speak. Go show up so your people can hear your voice, so that they can follow you. Okay? And at the end of the day, regardless to anything that I've said, at the end of the day, if you hear his voice, then follow him and do whatever he says. Because that's the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal is to listen to Jesus. Hallelujah. Okay, so I hope y'all enjoyed today's Friday Fire Your Boss Friday live. We'll be back here next Friday. So let me give y'all the rundown of the lives that I'm doing. Monday is Motivational Monday. Tuesday is Tax Therapy Tuesday. Wednesday is Wellness Wednesday. Thursday is Talk to Me Thursday. Friday is Fire Your Boss Friday. So we'll be going live Monday through Friday. I got to be obedient about the time. Okay, so technically it should be at 7:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Um, yeah, order, regularity, and consistency, right? Right now I'm working on being having regularity, right, and just showing up and turn on the camera. Okay, we're starting somewhere. So I will be live regardless to the time. I'll let you know beforehand, like kind of like I did today. But yeah, every Friday I'll be here for Fire Boss Friday. So if you are needing some support, I am going to put the link in the comments for you to join that group once I open it back up. The other thing I wanted to tell y'all about was that next Wednesday we are doing our Understanding Small Business Taxes training. Is for free. This is going to help you understand how taxes work in business, understanding your personal budget that we talked about. We're going to do a small deep dive into that. Also, paying yourself. We're going to talk about escort, business structure, paying taxes, all the things. Okay. It's going to be a 2-hour training, and we're going to need the whole 2 hours. Okay. Plus, we'll have a Q&A session for you to be able to answer, or for you to be able to get your tax questions, business questions, finance questions answered. Okay. And last but not least, what I also have in the comments is an informational session. So if you are interested in working with my company for your tax preparation, for your bookkeeping, or if you have issues with the IRS, then join the informational session. It's for free. The link is in the comments. Our next one is on February the 4th. We would be doing these every 2 weeks. You can always schedule a new client appointment with me. However, those comes with an investment. And so I'm going to put that link in the comments as well. So I do have the free option for you. So you can get in the room. It is a group Zoom. But it's I don't know, we've been having a good time with it. People saying they're learning a lot, and it's been very helpful for them to be on the Zoom. So yeah, so that's what I'm doing every 2 weeks until April the 1st. Okay. The IRS opens up on Monday, January the 26th. And listen, I don't know what y'all doing. I don't know what y'all doing. I don't know if y'all wait until Monday or you wait until March or April. But listen, let's not wait to the last minute. Okay. Let's not wait till the last minute. Let's not cause any extra anxiety. If we want to completely close out year 2025, if you're somebody who wants to put 2025 tax year behind you, you got to file your taxes. The longer you prolong filing that tax return, the longer 2025 is going to linger. And the longer it's going to take you to really step in into the fullness of 2026. All right. The longer it's going to take you to step into the fullness of 2026. All right. So that's what I have for y'all today. I hope y'all enjoyed this live. We've been on for 55 minutes. Like I said, I had more time, which is why I'm kind of like, what time should I go live? Because if I do it at 7:30 in the morning, I only got 30 minutes to really spend with y'all because I got to get Junior ready for school at 8. So on Fridays, it may be like around this time. But the other ones, I can do those in 30 minutes. So we should be good there. All right, y'all. If you need me, you know where to find me. I'll be, like I said, the info session February 4th. Next Wednesday, January 28th, is a free tax training, small business taxes training. You can always email me. You can always schedule a consultation. The consultation link is in the comments. You can always email me as well as at info at gradytaxplus.com. I hope y'all have an amazing Friday. Stay safe over the weekend, and I will catch you in the next one.